Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a year since I posted anything. I've actually recorded like 2 videos since then, but I didn't like how either of them came out, so I decided not to post them until I actually made a video that I liked. And also, I haven't been buying any kind of new makeup lately, or I don't really do fun looks like that as often as I used to, so I feel like I don't have that much stuff to post. I definitely want to make this YouTube channel more than just about makeup, so if you have any suggestions regarding videos I could make, I would definitely appreciate it if you left them in the comments below. But today I'm going to be doing a review on the new Anastasia palette, the Riviera palette. And I wasn't actually going to buy this palette at first just because I saw the colors and I thought they were all really nice, but I don't know, I haven't really bought that much makeup lately. Like, I haven't been on the new trends with the palettes or anything like that, so I don't know, I just wasn't really thinking about buying it. But I went into Ulta today because it was the 21 days of beauty deal, and I got the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencils because those are really good and they were half off, so of course I had to go and get those. And while I was in Ulta, I just saw this palette. I just had to get the palette. It's so pretty and all of the colors are just really fun, and I don't know, just the combination of all these colors is very unique. I feel like I haven't really seen a palette like this before, so that's really why I just decided to get it. As soon as I came home, of course I had to play around with the palette, and the eye look that I have on right now is using colors from just this palette alone. And I can do a kind of tutorial if you guys want me to, if you guys want to see how I created this look. And if you want that, you can just leave that in the comments below and I'll make another video on it. But for this video, I'm just going to be reviewing this palette and showing you guys swatches and kind of talking about how the colors feel, whether or not they have fallout, and just other things like that, just to tell y'all how I feel about it, and maybe you can decide whether or not you kind of want to go out and buy it. Okay, so first off, let's start off with the packaging. And this packaging is super cute, very springy and vacation-y. And then when you open it, as I said, I've used it already today, so that's why there's a little bit of fallout that you can see, but I'm just gonna do a close-up of all the colors so you guys can get a better idea of them. Okay, so this is Estate, Sales, Cabana, Yacht, Coastline. This one is Seychelles or whatever. I really don't know how to pronounce that word. Seychelles, Palermo, Bahamas, Seaside, Monte Carlo, Cannes, Inheritance, Mediterranean, and then finally Palm. That's just a close-up of all the colors. Okay, so now I'm just gonna swatch all the colors for you just so y'all can see which ones are more pigmented and which ones are not. So I'm gonna start off with Sales, which is that white shade that I showed you. And this is how Sales looks like. I would say that it's pretty pigmented for a white shadow. It's very soft and smooth to the touch, so that's good. Okay, next I'm gonna swatch this color right here, which is Estate. Okay, so this is what Estate and Sale look like, and I feel like maybe Estate isn't showing up as much on my skin just because I am more of a tan complexion. And I personally probably am not going to be using Estate that much just because it'll probably just blend into my skin tone. It's not going to really do much for me, but I think someone who has a lighter complexion would definitely like this shade because it is very peachy and nude, and I think it still applies well. Next, I'm going to swatch Yacht, which is this kind of bronzy glittery color right here. I really like that one. That one is very pigmented and it looks really good. I would definitely use this color on my lid just as a base color, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to swatch Cabana, which is this color right here, and I don't really know how this one is gonna look on my skin tone just because it is very yellow, but let's see. Yeah, I didn't really have high hopes for Cabana, but it still kind of showed up, and it doesn't look as pigmented on my skin as it would on maybe others, but I don't think it's that bad, honestly. Like, it's not like it has no pigment or anything, but I personally am probably not going to be using this color that much either. So next is actually a color that I used on my lid today, which is Seychelles or whatever it's called. I really don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, it's this beautiful blue color right here. It is extremely pigmented, as you can see. I used the rose spray to make it stand out even more when I put it on my lids today, but it honestly didn't even need it. It's so pigmented on its own, as you can see. This color kind of has more fallout than the ones we've tried before. As you can see, like, I put my hand in it and it's already going down here, going right there, so it does transfer more than the ones that we've used previously, but I think you can kind of expect that with any shadow that's extremely pigmented and gives a lot of color payoff like this one does. So I don't really think that's that big of a deal for me personally, but if that's something that bothers you, then definitely, you know, keep that in mind. So next I'm going to swatch Coastline, which is this peachy color right here. It's similar to Estate, but it's a little darker. And here it is, and I actually like this color. It looks pretty good, and I would use this way more than I would use Estate, just because it is a little darker and it'll probably show more on my skin. And now I'm going to swatch this beautiful color right here, which is called Bahamas, and I also use this for my eyeshadow today as well. And this is pretty similar to the Seychelles color or whatever it's called, where it does have a lot of fallout. It actually has way more than Seychelles. As you can see, there's fallout on this mirror, there's fallout down here. It's kind of all over the palette really, but it's very pigmented. That's why there's a lot of fallout, and I'll show you guys how it looks like right now because I'm about to swatch it. And there it is, and it is such a beautiful color. It's extremely pigmented, so I kind of understand why there's fallout, but it doesn't really bother me that much, honestly, because I think the amount of pigment that you get from it is definitely worth it. And that's definitely one of my favorite shades within this whole palette. And now I'm gonna swatch Palermo, which is kind of like this frosty pink right here. And wow, I actually haven't swatched Palermo at all before this video. I didn't use this on my lid today, but I really should have because that color is really pretty too. Wow. These three colors are absolutely beautiful. I really like Palermo. That looks really good. Okay, so next we're gonna go and swatch Monte Carlo, which is kind of a lighter pink shade. Okay. So Monte Carlo is pretty good. It is It's similar to the other matte shades in the palette, but it's pretty pigmented, and I think it would be a really good transition shade. Next, we're gonna go and swatch Seaside, which is this really nice silver shade. Ooh, wow, I really like this a lot too. It's not even just silver, it kind of has dark blue to it too. It's like a grayish blue color. Wow, I think that color is so pretty. And I like the fact that it's not just straight up silver, because I look kind of weird when I just have silver on my eye, so the fact that this is kind of dark blue as well is really nice. I really like this, and it's extremely pigmented. It seems to have less fallout than the Seychelles color, which I think it's nice, but it's still just as pigmented. And yeah, I like Seaside a lot. And now let's go to Can. And I used Can for my eye look today too, so I played around with it. So Can's kind of just like your basic purple shade. It's not a new unique color or anything, but it's still very pretty and it's nice, and it's obviously very pigmented and easy to work with. It's similar to all the other matte shades. It's soft, it goes on very smoothly, easy to blend. Next we're going to swatch this color, Inheritance, and I actually played around with Inheritance today too before I did my eye look that I have on right now, and I put it on my eyelid because I was really curious to see how it would look like, because it reminds me of Trophy Wife, the highlighter from Fenty Beauty, and I use Trophy Wife all the time as eyeshadow and it looks really good. It's very glittery and pigmented. It makes me look glowy and nice, so I wanted to try Inheritance and see how it looks like, but it really did not show up on my eyelids that well. It kind of just looked powdery and cakey. So I mean, I'm gonna swatch it and see how it looks on my hand, just to kind of show y'all what I'm talking about. So here's Inheritance right here, and I guess it doesn't look bad. It's not that it's not pigmented or anything, but when I put it on my eyelids, I guess it just didn't work well with kind of my skin tone. It kind of just made my eyelids look kind of weird and washed out. It looks pretty good here on the swatch, but when I put it on my eyelids it wasn't that nice, so probably won't be using this one that much, but we'll see. And now let's swatch Palm right here, just this basic brown color. It's just kind of a regular brown color, and I'm glad that they included this in the palette, just so we have our transition shade, our lid shade, and also kind of a crease color. So I like it. It's just a basic brown, can't really complain. And now let's swatch Mediterranean. I didn't get a chance to play around with this color today, so I'm really excited to swatch it. Ooh, I like that a lot. It's very similar to, what is this called? Okay, it's very similar to Seaside, except it's just a little bit more blue. It's more icy blue, and Seaside is kind of grayish blue, but I really like this a lot too. So these are all of the swatches from the palette. So those were all the colors from the new Riviera palette. Okay, so I would definitely recommend buying this palette. All of the colors in here are just so unique and vibrant. I feel like you could get a lot of different looks out of this palette too. Like for example, I only used 3 shadows for my eye look today. I used Seychelles, Bahamas, and Can. And while I was doing my eye look today, everything was just very easy to blend and work with. I didn't have any trouble getting the eyeshadows to show up or anything like that. So I would definitely recommend this palette if you just want a palette with a lot of bright, vibrant, unique colors. and it's perfect for spring, you know. You can pull off a lot of very colorful looks with this palette. And I think this palette was $45, which I'm pretty sure is kind of the average price for the Anastasia palettes. I only have one other Anastasia palette, which is the Modern Renaissance, and that's one of my favorite palettes as well. I just feel like all the Anastasia shadows are extremely pigmented and soft, and yes, there is some fallout, but to me it's not really that big of a deal. It's not that much fallout, and I know that the Subculture palette had a big issue with the fallout, and I know the eyeshadows were hitting pan after they were putting their brushes in a few times, but I really don't think the fallout in this palette is that bad. I feel like it's kind of similar to the Modern Renaissance palette. So yeah, I would definitely recommend buying this palette for spring. And thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to see how I did this look using the Riviera palette, please leave it down in the comments below. I really want to start making a lot more videos and be a lot more consistent with YouTube. So if you have any suggestions or you want to see specific content from me, please put that in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching my video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it.